the cuff here, giving you my 2 cents about the Battlefield 2042 beta. Now, first and foremost, I'd like to say I was thoroughly disappointed with this beta. It has nothing to do with the hype. I don't believe in hype in video games. Video games are just video games at the end of the day. I expect it to serve its purpose and to not be anything extraordinary. Every once in a while, we'll get those Halo 3s or we'll get those Modern Warfare 2s and things like that, but that very rarely happens nowadays, so I don't really buy into the hype of it. Even whenever the trailer came out, I said, I remember Battlefield games launching, the last 5 of them, and they've all been a buggy, shitty mess. And if you expected anything else from this game, then you're a fool. I don't know what else to tell you. Anyway, getting into this, so regardless of the bugs and all this other stuff, the problem with this game is that it's not a Battlefield game. It is a Call of Duty game with a Battlefield skin on, essentially. It's an individualistic game. The idea and the core concept of Battlefield is team strategy and working together to accomplish common objectives, to take the A flag, in conquest, or to set the bomb and rush, and so on and so forth. You need a guy who is going to be your healer. You need a guy who's going to be your sniper so that you can lay down, so on and so forth. You need a support guy for ammo, whatever. That is completely taken away in this game and is replaced with a specialist system. I understand why EA decided to go with that because it's easier to monetize. It's the same kind of setup that we have at Call of Duty with the operators. I get it. From a money standpoint, it's a good financial decision. But from a Battlefield standpoint, it is a bad decision. It is a degradation away from what Battlefield has always been. It would be as if Call of Duty's next game that came out next year was not a FPS anymore. It was a tactical shooter like Ghost Recon. Well, technically still it is a shooter, but it's not Call of Duty anymore. Call of Duty is 360 no-scope, booty sliding, bunny hopping, sweaty 13-year-olds. And that's what I come to expect it to be. If you would change it and say that it's now going to be like the Division 2, you could say, well, yeah, it's still a shooter, but it's not Call of Duty anymore. This is the same case with Battlefield 2042. Is it still a first-person shooter that's kind of team-based? Yeah, but the essence of it is completely gone. And I know people are going to say, it's a beta, this is not what it's going to be like whenever. This is what it's going to be like, man, and if you believe otherwise, you are a fool. I mean, have we not learned any lessons since the Battlefield 4, or even the Battlefield 3 beta? Okay? These games are broke whenever they launch, and whenever the beta, they get the feedback from them, they don't do anything with it. There's not enough time for them to be able to fix all the bugs and all the problems with this game, and this is even beyond the scope of the bugginess of that game. It's the core concept of the game is completely it's the antithesis of what Battlefield is supposed to be. I mean, it looks like Battlefield, it smells like Battlefield, but it doesn't feel like Battlefield, if that makes sense. I don't know how else to explain it other than the feel is just gone. I mean, like I said, it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, but it smells like a skunk. I guess that's the way that I would describe it. It feels hollow as a Battlefield game. Now, if this were a different like if Medal of Honor got revitalized, like Medal of Honor 2040, then I can understand that, and I'd be like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing with Medal of Honor Warfighter, and then the original reboot. They tried to do more of a scaled down, like Call of Duty version of Battlefield. That would have been understandable, but Battlefield's on the title, therefore they are beholden to the source material of what Battlefield is, and they have not done that this time. And I'm going to get to, well, actually, we'll talk about it right now. It's not only because of monetary reasons, it's because of this big craze with Warzone. Warzone is out the door right now. It's not popular, but it's not as popular as it was, and people are looking for the next best thing, the next thing to consume. And BRs are still relatively popular. Battlefield is coming in right at the right time to where Warzone, everyone's played it, they've seen it, they don't want the updates anymore. It's yesterday's news. Now the new thing is going to be Hazard Zone, and they're going to dump a lot of time and resource and marketing and money into that Hazard Zone thing. They saw what happened with Firestorm, and it didn't work out. I think they went back and licked their wounds, and decided to learn from those mistakes, really actually listen to the community whenever it came to Firestorm, and they're going to come out guns blazing with this Hazard Zone mode. Mark my words, this is going to be the next Warzone, or at least that's what they want it to be. And everything else is kind of centered around this idea. This is why this game, in its current form, in the Conquest mode, or even in a Rush mode, we haven't played those yet, but it'll be the same. It doesn't feel like a Battlefield game because it wasn't meant to be a Battlefield game. It was meant to be a Battle Royale game, and they knew that it would piss fans off if they released a Battlefield game without Conquest, Rush, Squad Deathmatch, all this other stuff, servers, and what have you. So they just kind of added that on at the last minute in order to say, well, look, it's a full game. We got everything here, and you can still play this, but it's not centered around that core demographic and gameplay aspect of Battlefield anymore. It's centered around propping up this Battle Royale mode. That's just a theory. I'm not the first person to think about that too. A guy on Twitter, I forgot his name, but like he had alluded to that, and I was like, wow, this makes a lot of sense. I think you're right, because I couldn't understand why they would deviate so much from the Battlefield formula, which people have come to know and understand. And then this thing just hit me like Marlon Brando said in Apocalypse Now, like a diamond through my forehead when this guy said BR and Hazard Zone, and I was like, okay, now I see what they're doing. Hey, props to EA, man. If that works out for them, great. Maybe Hazard Zone's going to be the greatest thing in the world. But I'll tell you what, if you are a old school Battlefield fan like me, you can say bye-bye to how Battlefield used to be. This ain't going to be Battlefield 4. This ain't even going to be Battlefield 5. This is just going to be, it's going to be a husk of its former self, even with the full game. And it's still going to be buggy, and it's still not going to be playable until like April of next year. You watch. I hate to be cynical, man. I'm usually a positive guy. I'm usually optimistic, but it's going to be a buggy mess. I buy that, knowing that in advance. I mean, you'd be a fool to not think otherwise. But the problem is that at its core, the game is busted. They would have to rework so many things in order to get this back up to snuff to what Battlefield actually is supposed to be, and this is not practical. It's not going to happen. So, be prepared to get really comfortable with Hazard Zone, or you can play Halo Infinite or Call of Duty Vanguard this year. Those are your choices. Or World War III. If you have a good enough computer, you can run World War III. And that's pretty much going to be it, man. So that's my thoughts about the beta. Not very impressed. The core demographic of Battlefield players are going to be disappointed with this thing. And it's going to lead to a lot of insane Reddit posts and foaming at the mouth Twitter posts. It's already starting right now. So it's only going to get worse as time goes on. Not a big fan. Hopefully they fix it. Yeah, I guess that's all we can do is just hope and pray. All right, it's off the cuff. Have a good one, guys.